Hello, this is Stampy Longnose, and welcome to a Halo Reach gameplay commentary. I'm playing a game of Zero Bloom Slayer on the map Zealot, and this is a kind of weird, unique kind of game. Basically because I'm playing against a good group of players. I'm playing with a good group of players against a group of awful players. I'm playing against 4 people, and they were a mixture of being really bad and being suicidal. There's 2 players on their team which kind of kept killing themselves throughout this game, and I don't know whether they were doing it accidentally because they were going into the sky bubble and they didn't realise it was that was killing them, or maybe they were just literally trying to kill themselves. But it's basically a guy and his guest. They kill themselves probably about, I think they kill themselves about 10 times throughout this game, and because of that we get a really unique scoreline of 50 kills to 0 kills, basically 50 to 0. And so I thought it was quite a cool, unique game, and it kind of emphasised the point which I want to talk about in this game, which is the fact that online gaming is really difficult for developers because they got to try and make a game which can cater to everyone. Basically, all games want to have as big an audience as possible. Well, the majority of it, I'm sure there's some weird, unique indie game which purposely doesn't want a big audience or something, but basically for a game to be successful and make money, it needs to appeal to as many people as possible, so as many people can play it as possible and enjoy playing it. And I think that's one of the big successes with the Call of Duty series, is they've made a game which can cater to hardcore players and noobs. And I think that one of the reasons why Call of Duty is so frustrating is because of all the things that caters for noobs. And I think that's something that Halo's been criticised a lot in the past, is that it takes a bit, not necessarily that it takes too much skill, but it's hard for a new player to go into matchmaking and not get destroyed because you're going to go against a group of 4 people that are all doing call outs and all timing the power weapons. You can get killed over and over and over again. And so it's really difficult for a developer to make a game that is going to appeal to hardcore players and bad players, and to try and make sure that situations like this don't occur when the score can end up being 50 kills to 0 kills. And there's a few ways they can do that. They can do like what I say Call of Duty do, and try and make sure that there are mechanics which means that some of the time a noob can do well. They can add a thing like care packages, so a noob can get a really good kill streak even though they might not necessarily have earned it by actually getting that many kills in a row, and adding in things like death streak. But the problem with these stuff, like adding death streaks and stuff, is it basically levels the playing field. It makes it so that the difference between skilled players and bad players is lessened, which basically means it's unfair on the skilled players because they might lose throughout no fault of their own. And the way to cater towards a good player is to make sure the game is fair and balanced, to make sure it takes skill, and to make sure that there's no luck involved. It's also good to ensure that there's proper tactics needed to be able to win, and often teamwork's needed to be able to win, are all good ways to make a game appeal to a skilled player. And Halo is also guilty of adding in things that make sure a game can appeal to noobs. I think things like the energy sword and the needler are all weapons which don't take any real skill to use, especially in terms of accuracy. I know maybe you can use them tactically and you can use them well if you are a good player, but basically I could crouch behind a corner with a sword, wait for someone to walk past, and I could just slash him and kill him without any real skill or like hardcore tactics from myself. And so I think that it is very difficult to make a developer appeal to everyone, and I think the best way to go about it is to try and separate skilled players and bad players as much as possible. And I think Halo 3 did that quite well with the fact that it had the true rating system, the true ranking system, so that if you were a high rank, you'd only play against other people that were a high rank. And I think that almost worked perfectly, but the big problem of course is that skilled players want to play against noobs so they can kill them over and over again. I don't know, maybe get montage clips and stuff, so they would make new accounts so they could go and just farm kills against noobs, and that kind of ruined the whole idea. I know, like playing doubles and stuff, you'd only go against people with new accounts, and I think that whole ruins the whole idea of being a good player. If you only want to play against noobs, it sort of, I think, kind of makes you a bit of a bad player, to be honest, if that's all you can do to be able to win the game. And so I think that didn't kind of work. But I think what Halo Reach has done really well in separating them is with the different playlists there are. There are things like Invasion and Action Sack which are perfectly designed for bad players. Well, not bad players, players that just want to play and have silly fun and don't care about like MLG settings or anything. And then, as I say, there are playlists like MLG, and they did have the Zero Bloom playlist, and I think Super Slayer, Team Doubles are all more hardcore playlists where it can sort of keep all of the good players like sort of together in one place. And I think I'm worried that Halo 4 is going to try and cater to more new players in like all games rather than keeping them separate. So I hope Halo 4 does try to separate noobs and good players as much as possible, rather than trying to put them all together with mechanics that suit everyone. And I'm just about getting towards the end of this gameplay. As you see, we get 50-0. Cheers for watching, everybody, and I'll see you later.